What would happen if every satellite suddenly fell back to Earth? The sky changes first, not gradually, not subtly. It happens in a single moment. Across the entire planet, thousands begin to glow. Lines of fire stretch across the atmosphere. They move faster than anything familiar. At first it looks beautiful, a rare celestial display unfolding above cities. People step outside to watch in silence. Phones are lifted toward the glowing sky. Videos begin spreading across social feeds instantly. But within seconds, something feels wrong. There are too many objects falling, far too many to be natural. This is not a meteor shower, this is something entirely different. Every satellite has lost its orbit. Every system above Earth is failing. Communication satellites begin their descent. Navigation networks collapse simultaneously. Weather monitoring systems vanish from orbit. The sky fills with mechanical debris. Burning fragments scatter across continents and oceans. Some pieces vaporize high in the atmosphere. Others survive the fall toward the surface. The first impacts strike remote landscapes. Deserts absorb distant explosions of metal fragments. Open oceans swallow debris without warning. Shockwaves ripple across isolated regions silently. Occasionally, debris reaches populated areas. Explosions echo through distant urban edges. Windows shake from unexpected impacts nearby. Emergency services struggle to understand the cause. Confusion spreads faster than falling debris. Air traffic systems begin failing almost immediately. Aircraft lose satellite navigation precision instantly. Cockpit displays show growing positioning errors. Pilots attempt manual corrections under pressure. Flight paths begin drifting off safe routes. Air traffic control loses coordinated visibility. Communication delays increase across multiple flights. Airspace becomes uncertain and increasingly dangerous. Flights are diverted toward nearest safe airports. Some aircraft circle without clear instructions. Fuel calculations become uncertain without guidance systems. Ground control struggles to maintain coordination. Air travel slows across the entire planet. At sea, ships begin drifting off course. Cargo vessels lose satellite navigation accuracy. Shipping lanes become difficult to maintain safely. Small deviations begin creating larger risks. Ports become harder to approach precisely. Docking operations slow under uncertainty. Maritime collisions become increasingly possible. Global trade begins to lose efficiency. Supply chains start to weaken gradually. But the most dangerous effects remain invisible. Global communication networks begin to fracture. Satellite internet disappears almost instantly. Remote regions fall completely silent. Entire communities lose connection to the world. Broadcast signals begin failing unpredictably. Live transmissions freeze without warning. News networks struggle to maintain coverage. Emergency alerts fail to reach affected populations. Information flow slows across digital systems, then begins to break entirely. On the ground, people check their devices. Navigation systems stop responding properly. Maps freeze without updating positions. Location tracking becomes unreliable everywhere. Ride services stop functioning across cities. Delivery networks lose routing precision. Traffic systems become increasingly chaotic. A world built on precision loses direction. Timing systems begin drifting slowly. Digital clocks lose synchronized accuracy globally. Financial networks rely on precise timing signals. Without satellites, timing errors multiply quickly. Transactions begin misaligning across systems. Small inconsistencies appear within seconds, then begin expanding into larger failures. Banks detect anomalies and pause operations. Trading systems shut down to prevent damage. Global markets hesitate under growing uncertainty, then freeze completely to avoid collapse. Trust begins eroding within financial systems. Verification becomes slow and unreliable everywhere. Money still exists, but confidence weakens. Meanwhile, scientists begin searching for answers. Ground stations detect sudden orbital emptiness. Satellite tracking systems show nothing remaining. The entire orbital layer has vanished. No warning signals were ever detected. No solar activity explains the event. No collision chain had been predicted. An entire infrastructure layer is gone. Weather prediction begins degrading within hours. Satellite data no longer feeds forecasting models. Storm tracking becomes increasingly uncertain. Hurricane paths become harder to predict accurately. Ocean monitoring systems lose real-time updates. Climate data gaps appear across global systems. Atmospheric analysis becomes incomplete and delayed. Small uncertainties begin creating large blind spots. Forecast reliability decreases across regions. Emergency weather warnings lose accuracy quickly. Within days, agriculture begins feeling the impact. Farmers rely heavily on satellite data systems. Precision irrigation becomes less efficient immediately. Crop monitoring loses real-time accuracy. Planting schedules become harder to optimize. Harvest timing becomes less predictable. Yields begin fluctuating across farming regions. Food production starts showing early instability. Supply chains react to reduced efficiency. Distribution networks slow under uncertainty. Food availability becomes slightly less reliable. Prices begin adjusting to new conditions. Emergency response systems begin slowing down. Disaster zones become harder to assess remotely. Search and rescue coordination weakens significantly. Response times increase across emergency services. Lives are affected by delayed decisions. Time becomes a more critical factor, and time is now harder to manage. Healthcare logistics begin facing subtle disruptions. Medical deliveries lose routing precision. Remote health services lose communication support. Emergency transport becomes less coordinated. Public health systems adapt under pressure. Military systems are also deeply affected. Satellite surveillance capabilities disappear instantly. Situational awareness decreases across defense systems. Communication between units becomes less reliable. Response times increase under uncertainty. Strategic decisions become slower and cautious. Nations begin reassessing security conditions. Global tensions rise under reduced visibility. Uncertainty creates hesitation at high levels. On the surface, daily life continues. Electricity still flows through power grids. Vehicles still move through city streets. Businesses remain open across urban areas. But something fundamental has changed. The invisible precision layer is gone. Small delays begin appearing everywhere. Systems respond slower than before. Errors occur in unexpected places. People begin noticing subtle inconsistencies. The world feels slightly less stable. Then gradually it becomes more uncertain. Adaptation begins slowly across industries. Engineers develop ground-based alternatives quickly. New systems attempt replacing lost capabilities. Old technologies return into practical use. Analog navigation methods reappear in sectors. Infrastructure begins evolving under pressure. But adaptation requires time and resources. During this period, systems remain weakened. Connectivity becomes less reliable globally. Efficiency decreases across multiple industries. Fragility increases within complex systems. The falling debris eventually stops completely. The sky returns to calm darkness. No more streaks of fire remain. No more visible signs of collapse. But the real damage is invisible. It exists within lost orbital systems. A silent network once supported civilization. It operated without most people noticing. Now it's entirely gone. The world must adjust without it. A slower, less precise system emerges. Human systems attempt filling the gaps, but perfection is no longer possible. Dependence becomes painfully clear. Modern civilization relied on unseen systems. Those systems no longer exist above. And what remains is a realization. The sky once carried more than objects. It carried stability, precision, and connection. Now it carries nothing at all.
I'll be back.